Welcome once again back to the lab. It is your old Professor Pilk, and I want to share something really fun with you guys today. So, to kick this off, I have bought myself a new toy. This is called a GB operator. Now, what does a GB operator do? Well, simply put, this is... I'll pull up the box here for you guys. But this is just a Game Boy Advance slot for my computer. This little box right here. This is not a paid advertisement. I bought this just out of pure curiosity and for what you're about to see going on behind me. And here's a Game Boy Advance cartridge. Slots right in. And then it's got a USB-C slot. And then this will essentially just read the card, as you'll see here in a moment. Works with Game Boy Advance. And obviously, because it is Game Boy Advance, will also work with classic Game Boy, if I put it in the right direction. Bam. So what we've got here is we've got a tool where I can basically play Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3 games on my PC. But it's so much more than that, and I'll kind of share a little bit of what I'm doing here in this video with you guys here in just a moment. So let's go ahead and plug this in. So now with it plugged in, you'll actually see over here, it reads it as Pokemon Sapphire. It is a Japanese version of the game. I'll get into why that is here in just a few moments, but I can actually swap this out with my copy of Crystal. Let's go ahead and just... or any number of games. Right now, though, Sapphire, the Japanese version of Sapphire, is kind of my main goal. So let's go ahead and swap that out one more time. And it is the literal definition of plug and play. Sorry, it's a little out of my reach because the way my computer is set up. So, what are we going to do here? Well, we can actually just go and play the game, which is pretty cool. You know, like, I can play it on my controller. We can kind of, you know, go through the paces here with it. If my controller were plugged in, that is. But nevertheless, we can actually just sit here and play the game. But that's not why I bought this device. Let's go over to the data tab here and really start playing around. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and quit. The data tab is why I bought this device. So you'll see over here it says backup game. So let's go ahead and back up the game. You'll see some little numbers and stuff down here. I'll try to make this a little bit easier to read. But I don't know how much easier I can make it. There we go. So if I just click start, it'll ask my backup location. So I'll say, okay, well, I don't want to back up the whole game. I don't want the full GBA ROM. I'm going to go to backup save. Okay. I just want the save file. The save file is the most important part. So I've got Japanese Sapphire 2. I went ahead and named it, and I'll kind of overwrite it here. So yeah, let's go ahead and replace that. You'll see a little blah, 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 blah down here. And then, bam, our save file is kind of saved. Now, this is where we get into the meat and potatoes of what I really want to discuss here and why I wanted to do this. So, we're going to go ahead and we're going to open up PkHex. And if you don't know what PkHex is, it's this little utility here, free to acquire online, and I can actually go in, open that save file, and it'll show me all the mod that I've got. So in this case, I've got a Zigzagoon with, what does he have on it? Does he have a, looks like he has a potion on him. Weird. That must be just something he had in the wild. And if I go to my party mod, all I've got is a Mudkip. You know, it is, at the end of the day, just kind of what it is. Now, here's where we get into the fun stuff. In this tool, you'll notice that I can just make my Mudkip a shiny. So let's go ahead and view him, shiny him, and then it'll give us some alerts over there, and I'll kind of cover what those mean here in a moment. But, and hopefully you guys can see this. I'll make myself a little smaller here so you guys can see more. Okay, so everything over here on the left-hand side of the screen is, you'll see that I can kind of make him shiny. Let's go ahead and view him again. So this little box, I'll need to get my cursor back on screen here, and I just turned it off. There we go. This little box right here. This little box right here will make your Pokemon shiny. So if I click that, notice he goes shiny. But then I get some errors over here. Okay, that's fine. That is just simply what it is. You can use this tool to really make an entire box of shiny Pokemon. Even Pokemon that look legitimate that you normally wouldn't be able to acquire in-game. What do I mean by that? Well, let me bring up my other PkHex environment here. This is an older save that I've kind of messed around with and played around with. So over here, I have a Mudkip that looks legitimate. Basically for all purposes, that Mudkip, when I pull him over into another game, it will look like I shiny hunted a starter. And in the Sapphire, any Gen 3 game, you can't shiny hunt starters. It's insane. It's a heck of an undertaking, but you can 100% shiny hunt starters. So, I can essentially just go ahead and view this Mon stats, and I can even go over here and export the Pokemon, and that's fine. We'll just call that Mudkip, and I'll know what that means. It'll save in Pokemon Sapphire. Bam. I can go over here to my other game. I can go to open the Mudkip, and there it is. There's my shiny Mudkip. And in fact, if I go down here to Met, it'll say I met him in Little Root Town at level 0. Starters, even though they're level 5, it always says level 0. That's fine. You want him in a Pokeball because any other ball is not going to match. Stats, here's the thing, guys. You can mess with the stats all you want. You can give EVs, you can give IVs. I could give him perfect IVs, but here's the problem. As transferring this guy over, if I gave him perfect IVs, at some point in time, Game Freak's going to get smart enough to go, but really now? From that game? However, I can pull him into Scarlet and Violet, and I can hyper train him. Like, it don't matter. Once you get over to Pokemon Home, at that point, hyper training and all that is a thing. So I really don't care. I just kind of randomize my IVs and just kind of let the IVs just do their thing. Like, to me, it's not that big of a deal. Moves, you do want to give this guy some legal moves. So, obviously, I got Mud Slap, Growl, Ice Beam, and Endure. And you can go down here and you can just kind of, okay, what's likely? I don't think Ice Beam would be terribly likely at his level. And I think he's actually level 10. So I'm just going to go ahead and put none here. Let's go ahead and type in none. There we go. And let's go down here and do a none as well. See, that exclamation point came up and tell me you can't have none there and then none on the lower one. So Growl and Mud Slap. Kind of sounds about right. I can do really anything here, though, that I want. So I do want a fairly early move. I can do Tackle and Growl. There we go. That would make a lot of sense for a level 10 Mudkip. So we go back out here to main. You'll see I have him set to level 10. Experience and all that. Just I wouldn't mess with it at all. Cosmetics are what they are. And then you come down here to the original trainer. And this is where you can input whoever trained this Pokemon. In this case, I have my character there. And along with this, it's going to generate a TID number and an SID number. These are all hidden numerals inside of the game itself. You don't want to mess with those. Those you want to leave where they're at. Basically, whatever you made your character to be, have that character be. So, I just right-click over here, and I go to set. Now I have a shiny Mudkip, but he has a problem. You'll see there's a little exclamation point on him. Ability does not match the ability number. Okay, so... Oh, because he's got Torment too. Okay, well, we'll do that. Ability does not match ability number. Okay. Strange, but that's okay. We can just actually do a reroll on him. Do a couple rerolls. Set him shiny. I'm not sure why it says ability does not match ability number. I think it's looking for Torrent. There we go. Okay. So what reroll is going to do is it's going to reset this PID number at the top. That PID number is going to become very, very, very important. Now, if I wanted to, I could actually go in here and manipulate his nature. Once again, though, I've got enough mints at Scarlet and Violet. I'm not worried about that, and that's kind of my end goal, is to get him over to that game and then reset all the stats. What I want this to look like a Pokemon that I acquired early in the game. Acquired a starter. It just happened to be shiny, and that's kind of that. So we'll go ahead and set him there. And now the little exclamation point's gone, and now I have a Mudkip that is shiny, looks like a starter, has respectable stats, and has moves that would be, evident of a Pokemon that would be a starter in this game. So by all accounts, that's kind of the meat and potatoes of it. But then you get into the really hard stuff. Now, you'll see I have a shiny Rayquaza, shiny Kyoger, and shiny Groudon here. So let's go ahead and let's view our Rayquaza. And we'll go ahead and finally just kind of save that Rayquaza. So I'm going to name that Rayquaza, if I could type. There we are. Rayquaza. And then we're going to go over here and we can just kind of open this up. Grab Rayquaza. And it does say his only move is Ancient Power. I would obviously want to manipulate that a bit. I want to see, like, at level 100, what moves would he or could he reasonably have. But you'll see that up here, his level is 100. He is shiny, and if I hit that little checkbox, it says he is legal. Now, the way I got there is very interesting. If you want to go through this yourself, let me kind of save you a ton of legwork here. Okay? Remember the TID and the SID I got over here? Well, you're going to utilize those. Okay? Original trainer name is kind of generated by that, so to speak. So the SID, the TID, and the original trainer name all kind of run through like random numerator checks. But there's a tool called RNG Reporter. This will do all of that legwork for you. So if I go back over here and I grab my TID, it's my character's name, copy that, and I'm going to paste it right here where it says ID. Paste, okay? Same with the SID. Oops, I closed it there. 43948, and I think it should be the same. There we are. Yep, 43948. Okay. Now, you can go up here, and you can mess with all these stats you want. I've already stated I don't like that. Some people will probably mess with that. It is going to be not nigh impossible, but really, really time-consuming to try to find one with perfect IVs. Sure, you pull it over to the other games, and great, you've got a perfect IV shiny Rayquaza. There's going to become a point in time where you're trading this Pokemon up, which is the whole point in doing this. And somebody's going to look at that and go, what? So for me, I don't do that. I leave everything just kind of, where it is. I just want a shiny Rayquaza. That's all I care about. So I'm going to go to this generate button. You'll see it's going to come up with just a list of numbers here. I forgot to hit shiny only. Now, I hit shiny only, and I hit generate. And what it's going to do is it's going to come up with a list of these PID numbers we were talking about earlier, right here, that will provide you a legal shiny Rayquaza for your ID and SID number. All this is it basically knows the code. It's cracking the code, and it says for that PID, for that SID, these are the legal, or say for that TID and that SID, these are the legal PID numbers for Rayquaza. So then you just take one of those over into the game. So let's see, this was 9F, 31, 2 EFF. So let's go ahead and just open up our tool over here. I'm going to say 91F. Oops, not 91F, 91F. And we'll kind of go back to the RNG reporter here. Oh, 9F 3312 EFF. So 9F 3312 EFF. Okay. So we do 9F 312 EFF. Okay. And that should roll us a Shiny Rayquaza. So it says here that the PID number is not what they recommend. So I can go back over here and it's going to say that is going to be a naive nature. And here are the IVs. So then I just kind of trade those over. So let's go ahead and do nature is going to be naive. Then we go to our stats. And the IVs were 2, 30, oops, 30, not 31. And then 5, and then 21, and then 16 and 6. Okay, now, okay. Oh, the encounter type is the other thing I gotta fix. So if we go over here to Met, okay, we need that at Sky Pillar. We need it in Sapphire. Here's the big thing. Rayquaza is Sapphire, so we want to make sure our origin game is set to Sapphire. Met location is Sky Pillar, so on and so forth. And you want to make sure that the levels are correct. I met him at level 70, so on and so forth. But I've already done all the work here, so if I just open up my Rayquaza that I created here, I will admit, sometimes with these PID numbers, I've had to go through 2 or 3 of them before I found one that actually worked. But just follow all the stuff here. Put in the right nature, put in the right stats here, and you should be in a good place. But like I said, I've had to go through 2 or 3 of them before. Now, the main reason I was doing this, let's go ahead and apply our Rayquaza over here. Good stuff, that. The main reason I was doing it was this right here. So everything I just showed you was because I wanted a legitimate Shiny Mew. Now, you guys remember a while back, we did the whole Shiny Mew thing with Gen 1. That's great. You can actually transfer that Pokemon over. It works for now. However, if you remember distinctly in that game, it specifically said that the trainer was Game Freak. And at some point in time, those Shiny Mews are not going to be tradable anymore. Or so I assume. There was one game in which you could acquire Mew. So let's go ahead and view this here real quick. So, Mew, I got him to level 100. I gave him just a random nature. Once again, I could change that. Here's the big thing. Met at level 30. You can only meet this Mew at level 30, so you got to have that. It is a fateful encounter. This was an event Pokemon. Faraway item and only an Emerald. This was only available in the Japanese versions of Emerald. So those of you that were wondering, why was I using a Japanese version of Sapphire? This is the exact reason right here. So, I have corrected all the stats. He's got okay IVs. Moves. I just gave him Psychic. I deleted everything else. Obviously, I'd want to go through and I'd want to manipulate that a little more. Anything in green up here would be good. Basically, you teach him any TM, but it is what it is. Cosmetics, he's shiny. And I've got my original trainer name with my original trainer SSID. By the way, guys, if you can read that name, put it in the comments right now. Let me know. I want to see who can actually figure out what that is. But for all intents and purposes, this Mew, let's go ahead and go to Save Pokemon. We'll just call him Mew. And we'll go ahead and load him up here. And right-click and set. So now I've got a Shiny Mew, Shiny Rayquaza, and a Shiny Mudkip. Now, you can also do boxes here. So I can go ahead and just put a Mew, dozens of Mews, in fact, in these boxes. In fact, guys, next time we're live streaming Pokemon, I will be doing a ton of shiny giveaways. I've got a ton of shiny, legitimate-looking Mews, as well as Rayquazas, Groudons, Kyogers, any legendary you can get in Sapphire, or any Gen 3 game, I should say, we will be giving away next time on stream. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But let's go ahead and just copy over a Kyogre. Let's go ahead and say Pokemon. I'm not going to get fancy with this. There's Kyoger. File, say Pokemon. There's Groudon. And I want all three of the starters. So we'll go ahead and say Pokemon. And view. And file, say Pokemon. Bam. There we go. So now if I go to my party, I'll go ahead and let's go ahead and move Mudkip to my box. We'll go ahead and set him there. And for our party, we'll go ahead and open up all these mons. So let's go ahead and open and set and open. These are all mon that I have just generated prior to this. And set and open and set and open and set. There we go. And all these, none of them have exclamation points. All of them check out. Now, what I can do from here, so I've got a few Boxmon, I've got a few Partymon. I'm going to go ahead and file, export save, and we'll save this as, I'll call this Pocket Monsters 3. Just because I don't want to overwrite anything. Export safety. Now here comes the fun part. All right, so we're back over here in Sapphire. You'll see I have Sapphire. If I go back over here to data, and I go to upload save, we'll go ahead and, where is 3? Where is 3? Let's try that again. So open up PkHex. Why did it not export save? Oh, okay, I get it. I get it. It took it a little too literally. It didn't do the dot save. That's fine. Okay. So we'll go to upload data. And we'll choose 3 save. Bam. Now, I'll take a moment here. It'll generate that. Now when you go into the game, start up the game. Just kind of set it on screen here or else it'll drive me crazy. There we go. All right, we'll just kind of enter the game here. Okay, there's my save. Now, if I go over here to my box. Okay. There we are. Notice now I've got Rayquaza, Mew, Torchic, Trico, and Kyoger and Groudon. All shiny. All level 100. So, literally, at this point of the game, no one can touch me because I'm only in the first area. Now, part number 2 of this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can transfer these Pokemon up to Scarlet and Violet. In fact, I've got a bunch of stuff here. Spoiler alert, you do need like a DSi or a DS Lite or something like that. Something that has the Game Boy slot and a DS slot, and it is a multi-step procedure. But once you have all that, you should be good to go. Basically, you need Gen 3 game, Gen 4 game, Gen 5 game, and a 3DS with Pokemon Bank. But we'll come back. We'll cover that in part 2. For now, let's just go enjoy our Pokemon real fast. So let's go ahead and go up here and find a battle. Oh, he's going to be mad at us because we didn't do the gym. Yeah. I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, we could do the gym battle. Why not? Let's go do the gym battle real fast. Okay. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. I hear you. Now, if people wonder, why did I do this with a Japanese cartridge? The answer is just because of Mew. I wanted Mew to look as legitimate as possible when I transferred those up. Now, until Pokemon Bank is no longer supported, I can continue doing this. So we literally have an indefinite source of Shiny Mews. Now, it is time-consuming, but it just kind of is what it is. Oh, okay. Cutscene. I was really hoping we'd be able to go to the gym. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Here we go. Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead and catch your Ralts. Yeah. I'm going to show you a thing there, Chief. You're not impressing me. Let me show you a thing or three here. Okay. So we're hopping into a battle here, and this is where it can get really interesting. So we've got a Wormpole for whatever that's worth. And I've got a level 10 Trico. Notice she's got a shiny stuff. So we're going to go ahead and trade him out. Ooh, that's the bag. Here we go. Let's trade him out for a level 100 Rayquaza. Now, Rayquaza probably won't listen to me just because we, quote-unquote, met at a lower level. But it is what it is. There it goes. Never mind. He just was bloodthirsty. So there you guys go. Now, once again, full disclosure, a GB operator is about $50. I think it was like 60 plus, including shipping and everything like that. A DS Lite, I picked mine up in box and everything for about $100. That and then of course if you have a 3DS and you already have the DS Lite, you're there. Really, all you need is a GB operator to make this work. PkHex and RNG, the RNG tool, those are all free to play. Now, the real key to this, the real kicker here, is now I'm going to go in and I'm going to generate myself an entire box of full shiny Pokemon of all Gen 1, Gen 2, and Gen 3. Now, I hear you. Gen 2 and Gen 1 cannot be traded. Yes and no. I will cover that in a later video. That video is coming. But for now, I will come back here in part 2 and I will show you guys how to transfer all these up, including transferring some of my shiny Encountermon before Pokemon Bank closes. And the whole reason I bought those games is kind of null and void. So, stay tuned for part 2. Like, comment, and share. And I'll be back with more coming up soon.